Welcome back. In this lecture, we will be covering how to install XAMPP or WAMP server and how to create a database. So we are almost done with like HTML, CSS and JavaScript. For the databases and the PHP, we have to install XAMPP or web server. So go to Google and write down XAMPP server. I am downloading XAMPP here. It's up to you which server you are using. Now download the XAMPP server. XAMPP for window. I'm using window, so it will be downloaded in a minute or two. Until that, I'm pausing my video here. I already have downloaded this XAMPP server. So I'm copying this and pasting in my working folder. Like this is my software folder, so I'm pasting it here. Double click on this XAMPP server and your installation will begin soon. So if you are seeing like this error, then you have to go to UAC. For going to UAC, so during the installation, if you are seeing this error, use Windows key and then R and type msconfig and click on OK. You can see here in the left bottom corner here, click OK, and then in the tools go to change UAC setting like this one and launch it. Now you have to make this never recommended like this and click OK and OK here. So if you are seeing this error, if not, then good to go. I'm clicking OK here, next, and you have to install all these again, next. So I have previously this XAMPP working folder. Like before installing, I have to clean that folder. So I'm going in my PC C folder, XAMPP folder, and I'm like deleting this one. Now you will see it will be okay to go because the previous folder wasn't empty. So install your XAMPP. I'm pausing this video until the XAMPP is installed. So I have downloaded this and installed. I will be clicking on this finish button. So for language, I'm using this one and saving it. So you see here, this is the XAMPP control panel here. So for starting Apache, you have to click on start. For MySQL, you have to click on the start button, and then for FileZilla, you have to click on this start button. Now for creating data table and the databases, go to Google and type local host /php my admin slash, and click on this. So you can see this is the database panel, this is the php my admin panel, and this is the structure where you can add the databases, where you can add the table. So for creating new database, I will be clicking on this new button here and will be giving the database name here. So I am giving this as like related to shopping, like shopping details, and then creating. So your database is created here. This is like shopping details. Now I will be creating a table here. This is my data table. This is the previous one I have created. Now I will be creating a table here. So this is the suggestion, the data table which I had created previously. Now I will be giving this name as customer details, and I will be giving this as number of columns here. I will be using ID and then name, then address, and then price. I will be using here, like I can use 5 columns here. So you can see here, these are the 5 columns here I have to add. The first one I will be giving is ID, then the name, then the address, then price, and the last one is delete. This is used for deleting a record. Like if a user with this ID, name, address, and price is entered his data, and the data is stored in this data table, and we want to delete that, we can use this delete here, this delete column, for deleting the record. ID must be integer and its length must be like, we can give it 3 numbers or 4 numbers, and it must not be null. So this null is used because the data must not be empty, means the ID must not be empty and the name must not be empty. So for name I am using text here, name type is text, and address must be varchar. Varchar means mixing of letters and the text. And for price I will be using this integer. It's up to you, you want to add length or not, but I'm using here 3 digit, and address must be like, you can say 150, and name must be between like 20, you can say. And now you can save here. The name delete is MySQL reserved keyword. Okay, so this is the reserved keyword, we can't use this. So this is like the database, and this shopping details is the database we have created, and this is the data table where our data will be stored. So you can see here, this is the ID, this is the name, address, price, and then the delete button here. Now our database is created. You can see the structure here, like this is ID, this is ID, and its type is integer with 4 length, maximum length of 4, and null yes. So you can see here, so this is the structure of our table. I want to change this, like it must be not null, so I will be saving it, and I will be doing it for others too. Price must not be null. I'm saving this. And so we saw the error, this PHP my admin was showing that delete is the reserved keyword. Actually, this is the reserved keyword which is used for deleting a record or a column. So I will be using here remove and saving it. Now I will be making this as auto increment. For auto increment, I will be clicking on this change, so we can edit this. If I click this on auto increment here and then save, you can see the error here. Incorrect table definition. There can be only one auto column and it must be defined as key, so that we have to make this as a primary key. So for this I will be going here and clicking on this more button and making this as a primary key. Do you really want to execute alter table customer details add primary key ID? I'm clicking this OK, and you can see here this is the primary key. Now I can make this as auto increment here and save it. Our ID will be auto incremented as we create the records here. So in this lecture we have covered the installation of the XAMPP and creating the database and the data table, and in the upcoming lecture we will be covering get and the post methods.